Hey, welcome back everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust talking about that Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations and everything in between. And today we're talking about, is the update 1.52 broken? Question mark for main branch, and where the event's going to sit for us, and some of the things that are percolating over on main branch and the things that are cooking over on PTB, also known as testing or staging branch. And yes, we'll touch base a little bit on Power Surge, but as you know, that's been not delayed. Well, maybe it is delayed, like a little bit. Like that shouldn't be breaking news for anybody, but you know what I mean. It's not going to be in the next week or two, as far as we know. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over here and go through some of these items here. Again, we're talking about update 1.52, and this is for main branch, and then we'll also talk about PTB. I'll try to separate the two for you, so it's not super confusing, as, you know, it's going to be not a rant or whatever, but you might go off topic just a little bit. So just so you know, this isn't supposed to be like a negative Nancy type thing. I also know that a lot of this is the developers, excuse me, are always working as hard as they can. A lot of times it's the management, not just like the management, but like higher up. We like to call them the suits or whatever. I think there's been some maybe some scope creep a little bit here and there, and obviously, like, I get it, like game development, when we have updates and stuff, you're going to have some updates that don't work. I get that, but I know we're kind of at a critical mass here for this update, because we've been waiting for the Power Surge update for a hot second. And also, you know, and this event thing's great, but I mean, if it's going to start or stop some of the Power Surge or even like break the game, then it's like, okay, we can put those on hold. But don't get me wrong, love the events. I think they're great. And that's one of the things we're waiting for. I mean, that's one of the things, like, we essentially have to get some stability with this event, and then we can move forward, because we already know that the event and the hotfix and stuff and like quality of life are going to be put together before Power Surge. So basically we need all these other things that are quote unquote broken, or things that need to be addressed, that need to be done first before we can start to even think about Power Surge on PTB. Remember, things hit PTB first, public testing branch. See it there in the orange? It is a separate download. We still get people asking the question, that's why I say it all the time. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so, and again, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy or knock on the developers. These are just things that we are currently addressing. And who knows, maybe we get this update in the next week or two. So, like, since we know these are going to be combined, like I'm sorry, not Power Surge, I'm sorry, the the Halloween event and whatever these updates are going to be, and we know that the event is most likely going to be in a week or two. We know these things are going to come by quick. So hopefully we eat our words here, and we're looking at an update sometime this week. That would be fantastic to address all the issues. Because let's be honest, this hot fix and stuff for the event are going to come through on PTB first. If that's stable and we will be testing it, then we'll know it would be a great candidate for a Thursday update, which is coming up here. So hopefully it's this week. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, so let's go over some of the issues, because we've had a lot of people report in. We've also been running through a couple of these too. And again, I'll try to keep these separated. So the blue is going to be for main branch. Some of them will also go over and touch PTB, and then we'll have the other one that is, I want to say it's red. No, it's purple. Okay, so OP Outpost Bubbler seems to not be working currently on the main branch. That's an issue. I don't know if the bubbler is working across the board either, so question mark. So again, let me go ahead and put it out there and say, if you guys are running into any of these issues, feel free to put them in the comments down below. Try to say like what platform you're on, so if you're on PlayStation or PS5, that kind of thing, and then just kind of be like, hey, we're running into this. It'd be nice to know if there's anything else we're kind of missing here. So you know, so we can kind of get an idea of what's what. Spawn clipping. A lot of times people are coming in and their feet are in the ground. That could be an issue. It can also lead to exploits. That's really bad news. Yeah, that always needs to be addressed. And hey, don't get me wrong, like them actually fixing the exploits they had before, like people using ladders clipping through ceilings and stuff, I think that's great. So don't get me wrong, they're doing a lot of really good stuff. Like, I don't want this to be all negative or whatever, but we're just trying to point out the things that need to be knocked out or that are glaring issues until we can move on to the next piece, which is going to be our, should we just call it the Halloween update? But the Halloween update includes all of these fixes and stuff. Anyways, oil rig. The problem is, and this, I know this is intentional, the small oil rig was removed for performance, and I get that. You know, so they left the large oil rig, but there's still going to be some hitbox issues. People are reporting that. I haven't had a chance to test it myself. I don't know if they're piling down at the end of the ladder like they used to, but it still seems like there's some things to address there. And also the cargo ship, I don't think I have it on the list. A lot of people are saying they're having issues with hit registers on cargo ships, so I kind of have to wait and see what that looks like. Again, if you have any kind of insight to that, be sure to hit us up in the comments down below, like right under this video. Please, please, please let us know. Because if we can compile a list or whatever and send it to the devs, by all means. I mean, again, we're trying to be helpful here. So that is that kind of thing. Okay, so the next one is hit register. Some people have been reporting that even outside of those monuments. Not quite sure what that is. So yeah, that's obviously a big deal. And invisible walls. A lot of people have been running it where they spawn in, and the walls are there, but you can see completely through them. And that's wild. Obviously, that's a huge exploit because you take away all of the... yeah, the surprise of raiding, like if, you know, it's like having ESP almost, right? I mean, you can see right into where the TC is, so that's bad news. That needs to be addressed as well. Here's another couple here, a handful here for main branch. Unstable skins. Some people have been saying that the, what was it, the tribal garage door was causing the walls to turn invisible in some of the bases. Oh wait, did I even have it up here somewhere? I thought I did. Anyways, that's been reported. Not sure if that's been fixed or not, so that's clearly going to be a thing. The water sound glitch has been plaguing us for a very long time. It's even on PTB as well. What do I mean by that? It can happen a lot of different ways. If you're using scuba equipment or sometimes leaving water quickly, or if you're moving, it can trigger it. There's a lot of other different ways, but we know for a fact when you're on a boat and you dismount, and you can notice it the most when you're doing cargo ship, your sound will cut out completely. It's really bad when you're streaming because it makes it extremely difficult to show anybody what's going on when you're completely deaf for a second and then you have to sign out while you're on the cargo ship. It can be a huge problem. It can happen anywhere. We just know that when the boat's moving, it's most likely to happen if you dismount whilst it's moving, and then you literally have to restart your entire game for that to come back. So that's been huge. I wish that's been fixed. It's been in there for a hot second. I want to say for at least half a year, if not longer. And again, it's on main and it's also on PTB. The echo sound. They said it was because of a bad patch for Xbox, and I know there was like a stealth update that happened relatively recently, and they say it's on Xbox only. There is a fix for that by turning it to mono, but here's the thing, the echo sound, I don't know if that's them or if that's the Xbox or not, because other games don't have that echo sound, but we definitely have it. And yeah, question mark, not really sure what that's all about. It could be that stealth update has fixed it recently, but who knows, right? Oh yeah, here's the tribal door, that's the garage door that's been causing issues. And by the way, those tribal doors, which is our first double door skin, I think this week is the last week to get them. So if you want those double doors, now's the time. And again, you know, entirely up to you. I'm on the outside looking in, right? Like, I don't work for them or anything, so you don't have to if you don't want to, by no means. Okay, so let's go over some of the PTB stuff. We have spawn map. Will completely disappear, so you can't respawn. You have to restart the game. Obviously, that needs to be addressed, and a lot of these could already be fixed. Hopefully by, we're hoping this week or next week's PTB update, of serious frame drops that have been occurring. And I have a next generation box, and I have no issues, but we're talking like frame drops like back when the game first came out, and not really sure what's triggering that. And it doesn't seem like it's linked to anything. It just seems like maybe memory leakage because it seems to happen so intermittently. And yeah, just completely random, it feels like. Haven't linked it to any particular event or thing that we're doing. So that's a big deal, and obviously that's going to be a huge deal for the core systems. No event NPCs, which they already are aware of. And what do I mean by that? With the Halloween event that's occurring, we have a bunch of items and stuff, but there's also what they call the murder NPCs. They turned them off because they were glitching, but they also are like walking loot piles, and they also are extremely aggressive. So they're not in yet, so clearly we need these for all of this to move forward. And again, all of this hinges on this pushing the patch forward, right? And it needs to be stable when they push it so we can actually have this, because it does no good to have the Halloween event in November, now does it? So either way, it looks like this timetable is going to be pretty quick. So no event spawns. That is the trick-or-treat event that does occur. Not sure if that's a bug or not, but some servers are reporting that they never get it. And I don't know if that's based off of the amount of people or lack of people on the server, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Let's see, and then the coffin box is an issue. So this guy has a lot of extra slots, but on our version, we're supposed to have, well, okay, so this is, obviously we just got the container update, so we're going to have a lot more here. but we're supposed to have an extra row on the bottom, and we do, but it doesn't show up. And once it falls in this like invisible slot down here, the only way to get it out is to destroy the coffin. So that definitely needs to be fixed beforehand, or else we just won't use the coffins. But they are an extremely nice box to have inside of your base. I mean, you can set them up like this, and they're super, super big. So big box is good. And a lot of people have been asking, hey, are those boxes going to stick around after the update? They shouldn't. Or after the event. I think as long as the event's running, we'll have the coffins, and then as soon as they stop it, we won't, just like on PC. And this one is more like what people have been asking for, and this isn't necessarily on the patch or whatever, but and maybe I don't want this to be a low blow, but a lot of people are like, there's no custom servers and there's no power surge, and power surge leads to everything, which I would 100% agree with. And obviously they're clearly aware of this. And again, I really don't put it on the devs. It's the people managing, like higher up, that I think have underestimated how difficult some of these things are, and I think that's why we are where we are. And obviously the stuff that's happened over the last 2 years hasn't helped, but clearly, I mean, when you look at power surge looming for a year and a half almost, you know, something's up, right? Don't get me wrong, it's awesome that they want to take that on, and I think the devs are trying to push forward as quickly as they possibly can and want to make sure that it works correctly. But again, this hinges on so much. Like the power surge is the key to so many other pieces of content that are going to come for us. I just blanked out for a second. It's one of them is going to be Farming 2.0, the T's, modular vehicles, all kinds of stuff. And it's going to balance out the gameplay, because let's be honest, turrets OP right now, you know what I mean? So that's what we have so far. Yes, it feels a little broken, almost like, I wouldn't say unplayable, but it's definitely, if you're going to be playing on Mainbridge or PTB, expect some of these bugs. Hopefully all of these get addressed quickly so we don't have to deal with these for too much longer. And again, I get it. These things do happen at times, but let's put it this way. If it goes past 2 weeks and there's not a good explanation, it's not going to be good for the community, right? We're going to be a little teed off, you know what I mean? But I don't think it's going to be like that, because, again, this Halloween event is going to be in October. So, you know, I don't see this taking much longer than a week or two. And so, yeah, we should see these things quickly. And hopefully they address a lot of these bugs and stuff for us. But, yeah, that's what we got so far. Again, if you're out there playing, you're looking for a great solo or duo base, especially on the water, water access, cargo ship ready, oil... I almost said oil ship, oil rig ready. This is the Bilge water base. It's fantastic. We'll go ahead and link that now on the end screen. If you want to go check that bad boy out, I'd highly recommend it. And it keeps you away from the Zergs. They can't kill what they can't see.